How's it going, guys? Cesar Ramirez here, and I wanted to give a testimonial today for the movie Shazam. Yes, right, that's right. So I've been a big fan of Zachary Levi since the show Chuck. If you guys have seen this show, I believe it's still on Prime Video through Amazon Prime. You can watch it because my sister just got finished watching the series. Now, it's, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 2007 when the episodes started playing, and I was running a computer business at the time, and so I was in alignment with everything that they were saying, from the Geek Squad, known as Nerd Herd, to the whole spy and computer fixing industry of Buy More, which is also known as Best Buy. All these videos and movies that came after the fact, I noticed something different in the character of who Zachary Levi was portraying, and I also noticed a lot of love, a lot of humbleism, and I think that's really important. I think his message is very clear, is not just being about self, but being about loving one another, and I think that's really important. You know, this world is so depressed because we're so focused on self instead of how we can be better towards one another. So I got that from Chuck. I also got that from his role through now Shazam. And Shazam, I gotta tell you guys, there is a lot of foundation there. You know, I know it's a really old comic, but he was called to do this. I think the producer said there was over 100 different interviews that people were casting for this, and he was chosen, most likely because of his way he is on social media. He's very open with people. Just today I saw that he was basically relating to a mother that had a son that was bullied. I have a son. My oldest son was bullied in public school, so all my children, just like what that mother did, was she homeschooled. We started homeschooling our kids for not only for bullying reasons, but many other factors. And I think we're living in a world, and I believe this is Zachary's message, is that we're living in a world where there's so much hate and so much negativity that we need to bring better light to one another. And I believe he was or is Christian foundational thinking. I know he was brought up some type of Christian faith, and I think that with that source being not just a made-up universe, but being a source of truth, and once you follow that truth, you can bring that truth to other people with love. You know, we're not in this to win a battle of argument of faith or religion, but we're in it to win a soul, to hopefully lead them to truth. And so with that said, the movie has a lot of foundations of biblical foundations, like I'm a revert Catholic, so I can only relate to the stories I've been through. This is where I was led to. I was brought up Catholic, but I was also led to be a revert, which means that I didn't know my Catholic faith like many Catholics that weren't catechized correctly. We were just born into it. My wife and I married as Catholics, but we really didn't know how to bring that love towards our children. So not to get into, I digress, is what Zachary says. I don't want to get into a tangent, but the foundation of understanding, and I went on this men's retreat through my faith, and I never actually met a person that understood their faith until I went to this retreat and started hanging out with people that were actually, how you say it, you're not you're in the world, we're all in the world, but you're not of this world, if that makes sense. And so bringing that light of passion to one another and love to one another, and really understanding the foundation of what they brought into Shazam, which is, I learned about all the 7 deadly sins. And I don't want to, this is some spoilers in here, so I'm not trying to kill the movie for you guys, but we watched the opening weekend, and I have to tell you, it was heartwarming finally to see something within Hollywood, within the superhero industry, that finally brought some good aspects of, right, there's always good and evil, right? We have a lot of atheists, and we have a lot of agnostics, folks that believe there is a God but they're not sure which one. And then there's a lot of folks that fell into that world because they got so confused, I'm sure, of things that happened in their life. unfortunately, maybe a person in their family passed away, and they finally said, how can God be that cruel? But point is, the common source is, I almost feel like this is a chess game that we live in this world, and trying to find ourselves back home to the Creator. And that's really what the key thing is, I think, that I received from watching Shazam, is that you have a pure source. The wizard, by the way, to squash all the internet hype out there, it's not Kazam from the 90s, which Zachary says you won't ever find that movie again, from Sinbad. It's Shazam. And so, yeah, you don't want to confuse those two. They're two different shows. But in the movie, they're looking for a pure soul, a person that thought he was pure, was told that he wasn't. There's a lot of hate and anguish within his soul, so he became the villain, right? So he failed the test. But Zachary, looking for his mom, he had a burning desire to find his mother, like a lot of us. And I think coming from a foster home type setting, and all these different, I think the original characters were all American, all white, but they diversified the characters based off of the writer not copying the comics. So I'm okay with that, right? And we have a lot of beautiful cultures within the United States, different cultures, different color skins, and I think it's having those different races that really allowed a lot of folks to connect to the movie. I think they did a really fantastic job, and they picked a beautiful person, just a beautiful soul, to have chosen Zachary Levi for the position. I really thought that they did a great job, not only on the graphics, but really the moral, the story, and the foundation of a family. And so it was brought to my attention that from my sister, actually, who ended up falling in love with Zachary on screen when she saw Chuck, and now she says, "Hey, I'm gonna take you out and your 3 children." I have 3 sons, and my brother, my younger brother. We went to see this movie, and then also my beautiful wife joined us as well. And she said, my sister says, this is the first love story where there isn't like the main character isn't chasing after a woman or vice versa. Kind of like in Big, there was a character with, there was the small boy, and then as he got older, he actually fell in love with the girl, and that girl or that lady ended up wanting to be younger, just like him. If you guys remember the story, so there's kind of a mixture within the movie in Shazam. There's kind of a mixture of Big, the old, I believe it's 80s movie, when they're running around the piano. You see some of the mixture that they had there from that movie. But the premise was, 14-year-old boy going on 15 converts to an adult self by yelling the word Shazam, and vice versa. He yell it again, he goes back to a boy as a figure. And kind of to sum this up, there wasn't a love story between a boy and a girl, but the beautiful thing, it was a love story about family, right? So he was in search for his mom, and his mom turned out to be not the person that he was expecting to be. And I really think that after he found her, the audience were really in awe, and I'm sure they had a heart for that child, that he was looking for a place to come home, not realizing that the foster family that had just adopted him, ended up coming home. And so well put together, from my understanding. I haven't actually read the original comics, but from what I understand is a lot of it was pulled. I saw some old comic screenshots of the book and showing the 7 deadly sins. I think that was really cool to kind of bring that together. Being in the men's ministry that weekend, I realized, like I said, that pride, and we can all fall into this, right? Pride can be one of the worst of the deadly sins, which I understand is the worst of the deadly sins, because it's so easy to fall into pride, to be wanting to be recognized and wanting to get a thank you from other people. And that's kind of being prideful, right? You shouldn't expect much of others. You shouldn't try to be over prideful of self. But Zachary Levi really brought the concept together about, hey, I can keep the powers, I can be prideful, yet no, within the movie, again, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but you'll see that he ends up building a family, superhero family out of the powers that he has. So with that said, I really think that you guys, if you haven't seen it, I know a lot of fans have seen it twice already. I want to see it in IMAX. That's my next goal. And if there's other theaters that play it in a different format, better format than IMAX, I'm all about that. And definitely go support the movie. I really think that we're a superhero family. We really love the movies, from Marvel to now DC. But I think this movie really made DC. So I want to say congratulations, DC, for bringing somebody that has a good heart, as you guys know. And he definitely played, and I believe this is going to boost your guys' image now, based off of Shazam. So go watch the movie, enjoy it, and definitely comment below. I'd love to hear your guys' story. I really think if you guys plug into Zachary's Twitter or Instagram, he's always pretty active on there. He shares a lot of stories. He reads people's stories and how this movie has changed their life. My son, like I mentioned earlier, was bullied, so he's homeschooled now. But my son really allowed himself to become a better person, being surrounded by the homeschool kids that he built a great relationship with, and they're all about hugging each other and loving each other. Everybody respects each other's personalities, and it's just a beautiful environment to be. We're part of a charter that we've been a part of since 2014, and it's as a parent, and then going through the public school system when I was growing up, seeing how important that is. I think that all the changes that are happening in the public school system is unfortunate for those that are trying to keep their head straight and narrow, instead of falling into one of the mortal sins, right? And so the 7 deadly sins are reflecting on that. That's kind of my perception of this movie, is looking at those 7 sins and seeing how you can disconnect from that as much as possible and be better through your Creator, in this case our Lord Jesus Christ, right? So that's how I made this connection. I don't know, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, because everybody kind of sees things differently, but this was how I connected to the movie. So bless you guys. Zachary, you're definitely one blessed person, and keep doing good with the platform that you have to better the lives of others, man. Thank you. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Take care.